7:02 on the oil stream, brought to you by Boston Pizza, where their playoff menu simply kicks ass. That's not the official liner, but I decided to just throw that out there because it's the truth. It's the truth.
Boston Pizza's playoff menu, yummy, yummy in my tummy.
You look like Zach Morris today.
From Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, just like a t-shirt and then your hair up. You kind of look like Zach Morris a little bit today.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's
I was a big Saved
thing.
by the Bell fan. I like Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Mark Paul Gosselaar. Yeah, he was in some other shows after.
He was.
He was in a cop show.
Yeah, and then he was in a lawyer show with remember Breckin Meyer?
I don't know who Breckin Meyer is.
Meyer was like a guy late 90s, early 2000s that was in everything. He was in not Euro Trip, Road Trip.
The littler guy?
Yeah, the littler guy.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. He was in a lawyer show with Breckin Meyer, and it was pretty good. I remember watching it. I can't remember if it was
he did pretty
Crave.
good. Yeah, Breckin Meyer. Yeah, I recognize him. He was in a bunch of different
shows. What was
shows.
that show called?
Franklin and Bash.
Franklin and Bash. It was actually pretty good.
There we go.
Enjoyed it.
So we got to a whole bunch of new stuff that we just learned right now.
And I learned over the weekend that Mark Paul Gosselaar did not get along with Dustin Diamond.
Yeah, I don't know if many of them got
friends.
along with Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond's passed away.
He was
now,
Screech,
right?
yeah.
He was in some porn.
He had to do some. he did some skin movies.
I heard. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. All right, here we go. Oilers and Golden Knights. We'll definitely get into that as we work our way through the show. How was your weekend? You locked and loaded, ready for another series or what?
I after Hello Hockey, I kept it very low key. And it felt amazing.
Like for the rest of the weekend?
The whole weekend.
Oh.
Watched the race yesterday, watched the game, played some video games.
Nice.
Oh, it was great.
That's
so
good.
I'm ready to go for the second round. We're going to be at BP Westgate. Shout out to Tony and Curtis. And then we're going to be at Hudson's Bourbon.
Running back the same schedule.
And then we're going to be back at Ice House for games 3 and 4. Then back at Hudson's White. See our boy Connor Yakubuski. And then if there's a game 6, which I think there will be, back at Ice House, game 7, TBD, which
TBD.
I don't think we won't. I don't think we're going to need game 7 this time around.
You don't think so? So you're simple as this. You're on Oilers in 6.
Yeah, and I disagree wholeheartedly with Shoggy saying that that's a cop-out. Like, there's only so many options. I didn't want to get into it with him today, but like... Yeah, he has some weird takes sometimes. I love him. He's like a big brother, but that
was a weird thing. Like, you can't take Oilers in 6. It's lame.
So he's going to forcefully make himself wrong by going Edmonton in 5?
I mean, I guess. I don't see Oilers.
The logic there is
Oilers in 5?
convoluted. He said that.
No, but do you think that?
No. This is going to be a battle. Hello.
We'll set the series up. I mean, we've got lots to get to. They did practice today. Now, who was in the starters net at practice?
Oh, my God. And then that was another thing.
Pickard, of course.
Jeez, guys. Skinner's going to start. Where the hell does that come from?
The 2 months.
Oh.
Isn't that like, I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere. I saw people texting in today being like, Dusty, it's rumored out there that they might be going with Skinner in the first game. I just never thought, well, I didn't have time to look it up, and I honestly don't know where I would find this information, but
in what world does that make sense?
Pickard would have had to have been the first goalie in the history of the league to go 4-0 in the first round and not start game 1, round 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that just seems unheard of.
I think we see Skinner by game 3. But not in game 1, unless things go sideways in a hurry tomorrow. But I don't think that's going to be the case. We're in for a battle, man. It's going to be a dogfight. 2 good teams. 2 teams with flaws. 2 teams with pedigree. Championship caliber pedigree. One team's actually done it. The other team's come close. It's going to be awesome. Vegas, baby. And the prices are ridiculous to go between Edmonton and Vegas right now.
Well, of course they are. We get gouged all the time.
Oh, that and cell phones and cable, like ridiculous it's criminal. These airlines. And
how do you afford to go down to Vegas for these games?
You have a lot of money. That's how. Or you just pile up the credit card bills. It's insane.
Is that how we got? Look, we have lots to get to, but I am curious. I do want to ask this question of Oilers fans. Is that how you just enjoy the playoffs? You're just like, I'm going to throw basically the whole thing on a credit card, and I'll open my eyes when the run's over.
That's painful.
Is that how most of you do it? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or over on the nasty chat. I see Maverick saying Rashog started the Skinner rumor. No. I'll say that Rashog said that Skinner was in the starter's net at practice yesterday. That was it. He said, we'll talk to Knobloch after. So there was no rumor started. Like, at no point did anybody in the actual media come out and say, Stuart Skinner, we're hearing Stuart Skinner starting.
No, exactly.
They didn't. So
it was, and yesterday when somebody messaged me about Skinner, I'm like, where are you hearing this? And they pointed out, I think, he was in the starters net. And I was like, where was the practice yesterday? That was my question. And they were like, sounds like it was at the community rink because there was a concert last night. I said, exactly. So it's kind of, it's
so we
not
can thank Cypress Hills for all this controversy about the goaltending.
Insane in the membrane.
That was them?
I think so. Anyway, it was like, I saw that. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not buying any of it. I also didn't go to practice because it was my day off, which was amazing. Yeah. Very, very refreshing. But I'm like, wait till practice tomorrow. Let's see what they do on Tuesday. I'm not reading anything from a DCA practice on Sunday, 2 days before the game. And sure enough, here we are. So I don't know. Like, I think it's just a conversation that was created to have a conversation almost.
Yeah, we had it this morning after people were like, Dusty, I hear this is what's happening. Like, man,
I love how people are like, I'm hearing this. Like, you're not hearing anything.
It would have been the most ridiculous thing of all time. And I'll also say, bold move by the 2 months guys for throwing it out there, because that just would have been the ultimate twist. I don't know why. I don't know how you can take the net away from Calvin Pickard to start a series when he just won you the 4 games that you needed. I mean, we can talk about his leash and what it means, and if they lose game 1, is that a window to go back to Stuart Skinner, or do you give it back to? I would personally give it back to Pickard in game 2 as well. I know there's others who would be like, nah, whatever. If they end up losing there, you make the switch. But I don't know. Like, let's start there between the pipes, buddy, in this series.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, slight advantage.
No, advantage Vegas.
To Vegas?
Yes.
Slight advantage
Straight
Vegas?
up advantage Vegas.
I want to say slight advantage Vegas.
That's nice of you.
What's your main reason behind it? Just that Aiden Hill's
won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And he's been okay. Like, he knows how to do it.
He wasn't good in the first round.
No, exactly.
He had a 906 in the regular season. So
yeah, started out slow, got better as the season went on. Samsonov was good for them. Akira Schmid was their backup to finish the series. I can't remember Samsonov's injury, but he's necked up. I'll just go Vegas because the Oilers' goaltending picture is kind of murky. And people are like, well, Pickard. Yes. Yeah, good backup. Got it done. 4 straight wins. He has earned the right to start this series. But like I'm saying.
What did Murray say today on the hangout? I was kind of dabbling in it, but I was doing a bunch of work around here. He's
in line with what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
Pickard was all right. Like, he made some and I'm not besmirching Pickard. Calvin Pickard has done a very good job. He's been there when called upon. He's gotten the results. That's the thing that matters most in the postseason. But the method wasn't immaculate. He got beat on some bad goals. And I think that leaves the door open to Stu Skinner making a return, a motivated Stu Skinner. And I think we will see Stu Skinner by game 3. That's just my guess.
I would say that I thought Pickard, while there were some weak goals that got by him, I think Pickard made a number of saves that I didn't have faith in Stuart Skinner making.
Stu Skinner this year?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
think Pickard made a lot of side-to-side saves, and there were the numbers out there on it.
His anticipation is really good.
Yeah, like his ability to get across is significantly better than Stuart Skinner, and I think he made some saves that Stuart Skinner just wouldn't make with the way that he's played so far. Played so far this year. So 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in today. All right, so check mark to Vegas goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I guess I guess I'm probably saying slight check mark to them because I'm expecting McDavid and Draisaitl and the Oilers to get to Hill. Like Minnesota got to Hill. Why are the Oilers not going to get to Hill?
They should.
All right. So I'm expecting the Oilers to make the goaltending less of an advantage than we may be expecting for Vegas. Who knows? Maybe Aiden Hill stands on his head and steals this series, but I think the Oilers offensively are going to be able to get to him. Darcy Kemper had much better numbers in the regular season, and the Oilers absolutely embarrassed him with the exception of one game in the first round. On the back end, I don't think it's really debatable. Vegas Golden Knights have the better blue line.
100%. No question. I love using this term Belzy throws out there. He calls them sequoias because they're big. They can hurt you physically. They're also generally pretty smooth skating, good first passes. Like Hanifin, Petrangelo's still great. Theodore had a really bad game in round one, but I think bounced back in general. Do they still have Connor Murphy?
No, they're rolling McNabb, Theodore, Haig, Petrangelo, Hanifin, and Whitecloud.
Whitecloud's very solid. And then they also have Haig, don't they?
Yeah, Haig's I mentioned Haig.
Haig's a big guy, too.
He's on their second pair right now with Petrangelo.
Very balanced to me. And it's going to make the battle for the front of the net tougher than it was against LA, but it's not impossible for the Oilers.
Well, and that's this came up, I guess, with Rashog this morning, maybe. The Oilers didn't get to the front of the net against the Kings for the first two games either.
No.
Right? And then for the last couple of games, I thought they were all over the front of the net. So part of that, to me, is just your willingness to get to the front of the net, which they didn't show until they got desperate. I hope they have that mindset right now. I just want to look up how they distributed their time on ice among blue liners. Okay, so Hanifin, this was in that first round. He was -3. Hanifin, 23:07. Petrangelo, 22:31. Theodore, 22:11. McNabb, 20:30. Whitecloud and Haig in that 16 to 17 minute range. So a little bit heavier on the Hanifins, Petrangelos, Theodores, and McNabbs, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But no heavy minutes on that back end for the
they can spread
for
it
the
around.
Vegas Golden Knights. They can move it around a little bit. They don't have one guy that was buried like Brant Clark or Spence or Emberson at times.
Or Jacob Moverare.
Or Moverare.
Moverare.
That guy.
Played 2 minutes.
All right, so check mark on the blue line.
Vegas.
Check mark between the pipes.
Vegas.
Forward group.
Edmonton.
Okay.
Edmonton's deeper, more balanced, and has more explosive superstars. Also, look at the stats of the Golden Knights. The top four scorers, Eichel, Stone, Hurdle, and Theodore. 2 of them have 5 points. 2 of them have 4 points. All of them are dash players right now in the red. I think that's telling. And then, a bunch of guys have like 2-3 points each.
Now that brings us around to the numbers game for Play Alberta. If you've not yet, if you haven't downloaded the app yet, download the app. It's pretty smooth. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app. Hundreds of player props bet on the biggest leagues: NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. And you're not just playing for fun; you're supporting the province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with the promo code YEG50 and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet when you get started. Minimum $5. That's it. Minimum $5 deposit. Use the code YEG50. $50 free bet, and the revenue stays right here in the province.
And click on American, not decimal.
Yes.
Otherwise, you sound like a total jackass reading out your liner.
On the game day odds check for game 1, Tommy, please do not be. All right, so there's our 3.2. That doesn't look right.
I didn't know. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then you're like, yeah, you click this tab, and then you go American, and then all of a sudden it all was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, there it is. There's what I was looking for. So, thank you for that. You saved my life because I'm like, what
now you understand, right? You just change it to American odds.
American odds, yeah.
American odds,
but
yes.
Shouldn't it just be standard by default on American odds on the site? But it's not. So that was
the default is just decimals. So you got to do that.
What's up with the decimals? So anyway, click on the American odds.
All right, it's the numbers game. That's where I want. There's a couple places I wanted to go.
Okay.
And you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're at 35. Should probably be at 100 by the end of the show. So give us the thumbs up there. So the Vegas Golden Knights, I tweeted this last night because I started sort of diving into the series. And you go and look, and Aiden Hill had an .880 save percentage. Mm-hmm. Their leading scorers had 5 points in 6 games.
Yes.
Their power play, I think, was 7th in the first round. Their penalty kill was 8th in the first round. Like, they really, statistically, didn't do one thing really that good in the first round of the playoffs against a lesser Minnesota team than the Edmonton team. No disrespect to the Wild, but a lesser Minnesota team than the Edmonton team they are about to face. So I asked that question last night on Twitter. I was like, okay, like I'm genuinely asking. I didn't watch as much as the Vegas Minnesota series as maybe I would have liked or time allowed me to get into. So why did they win? I saw a lot of people replying with timely calls from the officials, putting them in some good spots and key moments in hockey games. Let's see. Well, there's a bunch of replies here.
They dug in.
Winning all of just these close games because Minnesota's in pretty good. Depth scoring throughout their lineup. Vegas depth will kill Edmonton. Your thoughts on that? What do you think?
I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that there's more holes in this Vegas forward group than years past.
Okay, here's the Vegas forward group, at least according to the latest over on Daily Faceoff. Eichel with Stone and Carlson. Oilers' top line is better.
Yep.
Hurdle with Kolasar and Brandon Saad. I'm sorry, I would give the edge to Evander Kane, Hyman, and Nuge.
Kolasar is supposed to be a good fourth liner.
Nicholas Waugh with Riley Smith and Barbashev. I don't mind that line.
It's okay, but Waugh is a bottom 6 guy. Barbashev and Smith are supposed to be scorers. And Smith is older. Barbashev,
it would almost
streaky.
seem like Saad and Kolasar should be down there.
Yeah,
Barbashev
exactly.
and Riley Smith should probably be up. And then Brett Howden, who had a nice year with Olofsson and Tanner Pearson.
Right. Howden is the gem on that line.
But I don't think that depth kills what we've seen from the Oilers' depth.
No.
The last 4 games.
The Golden Knights wingers are their weakness up front, is what I would say. Because they have some pretty good centermen.
Yeah.
Saad was... What they negotiated his contract for him to leave St. Louis, right? They terminated his contract. Kolasar is supposed to be a fourth liner. Riley Smith, he's been a good player for a long time, but that thing of him being in the league for a long time, I think is starting to catch up with him. Barbashev, streaky. Howden had a great year and was clutch for them in the first round. Tanner Pearson, I was on with Ken Bulkey from Sin Bin Vegas on Saturday night. Spent an hour doing some stuff with him on his Discord, which was kind of fun, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
And I said, and I'll stand by it, Tanner Pearson's the weakest forward in this entire series.
Ooh, look at you.
Of the guys that are like in the lineup.
Yeah.
If Kasperi Kapanen was playing, I'd be like,
so you got Tanner Pearson ranked 24th among forwards.
Among the forwards, yeah.
What was the reaction like on the Vegas Discord?
Concur.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
People are like, yeah, that's a good point. I'm like, well, Olofsson's okay. But again, like it's weird because listening to Lawless, Gary was saying like towards the end of the year that the Golden Knights weren't themselves. Something was off at times with them. And you look at this lineup and you're like, it's kind of all over the place. Top line is very strong. Carlson has dipped too. He had that 40-goal season.
They had that huge year right when they got going.
Yeah, like even he didn't have a monster year this year. Just want to double check that. But I think the advantage goes to Edmonton at forward. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be sorry. I'm just going to say I'm not sorry. They are better at forward. The Oilers have more depth and better wingers than the Golden Knights. There, I said it.
Eden is in and says, hey guys, Hill's save percentage of 880 is skewed because of games 2 and 3. Hill's last 3 games were 906, 909, and 935. Yeah, but so we're just going to ignore games 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking? You can't just
lit up.
Pick and choose. You can't just pick and choose which, in a playoff series, which games.
Yeah.
I don't under.
Yeah. It's called cherry picking.
Yeah. That's being like, don't worry about Skinner's save percent the first 2 games.
You know what? Let's go back to Skinner 2 years ago. The same percentage going into this series.
Let's go back to a series against Dallas last year in the playoffs. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Don't do that. Karlsson, 9 goals, 20 assists in 53 games this year.
Say that again. Nine
goals, 20 assists in 53 games. He did have a 30-goal season last year, so he kind of had a resurgence last year.
He can play, but let's be honest, he's not Leon Draisaitl on the left side rolling shotgun with Connor McDavid here.
Correct. That's a good way to describe it.
If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We would appreciate that. 56 away from hitting 100 over there today. And if you're on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com and your friends are like, oh, God, I wish he could listen to some entertaining sports talk all day, just send them the link to EST, and hopefully they do like that. Here's the other thing I want to get to on the numbers game. I think I saw Jack tweet this out earlier today. The Oilers have won 8 playoff series since 2017. 7 of them they were trailing.
Yep,
so
that sounds about right.
This is just who they are. At some point, you would like to sort of get out in front and control a series.
Yeah.
As opposed to always being like, my God, it's game 3, but they got to have it because they're down 2-0.
Yeah.
Is there any reason to... So, are you expecting a split in Vegas? Is that kind of what you're expecting in this one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that we're going to see... I think we're going to see a split in Vegas. I think the Oilers... I think we're going to see a split, actually, here in Edmonton, and then I think Edmonton continues this, speaking of their tendencies, this ability to adapt and acclimate to their opponent and improve as the series wears on. And I think Edmonton will take games 5 and 6 and win it in 6. And Shoggy's thing about that's a cop-out taking a team in 6, that's total BS. I'm going to reiterate that.
I mean, the most likely of scenarios in this series, and I'll just double check it, but I'm almost certain with our partners over at Play Alberta, according to the odds, right now, the most likely outcome of this series is Oilers in 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess Shoggy could say, like, it's chalky. It's a chalky play, but you still get it 4-1 if you're betting on it. Yeah, I don't know why the most likely of outcomes is something that you can't predict. It seems weird to me.
It's like, are you trying to make it harder on yourself, or do you want to be wrong on purpose? That's what I was thinking listening on my way in when Shoggy was on for the mandate. I'm like, that's silly. I think they're going to win in 6, and I stand by it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with predicting that. I was right about the first round.
Yeah, you know what we said in the first round? We all said Oilers in 6.
And that's exactly what happened.
And it worked out well. We're not PK Subban in this thing with the worst bracket.
My goodness,
in the history
he is
of brackets.
terrible at picking teams to win. Like, if St. Louis won that game, and they almost did,
1-7.
1-7, and that's your lead analyst? Mamma mia.
Hampton Steve texts and says, I think lots of people still think of Vegas' forward group from 2 seasons ago. It's very different now with no Marchessault, etc., and some vets that have slowed down. Smith, Saad. Yeah. I'd throw Mark Stone probably in there a little bit slower than he used to.
Yes, he had a tough go late in the season. I think when Edmonton played Vegas, I remember looking at Hernan and I'm like, did you notice Stone tonight? He goes, no, man. Didn't even see him out there. I'm like, well, it says he played like 18 minutes, but I didn't see him do anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Raya over on YouTube. It might not be sustainable, but man, if the Oilers play like they did in overtime versus the Kings, they can beat any team. And yes, I am cherry picking that stat. Well, look, if they play as aggressive as they did over the last couple of games against the Kings, I think their speed up front will be too much for the Vegas forwards. I do. I think if they push as hard as they pushed, I'm not sure that Vegas forward group can keep up with them.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Oilers change up how they attack the Golden Knights compared to LA. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a tweak to the breakout, maybe try to stretch out the Golden Knights a little bit and use that speed like you're talking about. So keep an eye out for that. We'll see. That's my hunch, though. That's your numbers game brought to you by Play Alberta. Download the Play Alberta app today. It's been recently updated. It's awesome.
I'd like anything new, any new app. It'll take you a little while to get used to, but once it doesn't take long. I mean, I've kind of gotten there. Oh God, don't even. Coop, what are you even in here for right now? God, let's
Give me this. You got ripped off, buddy.
Let's go. Well, let's get to your Popeye spicy headlines. If you would like to pick up some Popeyes for lunch, feel free. May I suggest the spicy chicken sandwich? Had one of those bad boys last week, and it is. I don't know how they do it, man, but those chicken sandwiches are just the greatest.
They are phenomenal.
Chicken thing I've ever eaten in my life. They're amazing. This is a Trevor Linden SP Authentic from 2000. So Ice Cube, who is a big time thrifter, like he likes to buy cheap clothes all the time. He comes over to me with a baggie, like a sandwich baggie with about, how many cards did you get there, Cube? Like 70? 80?
I thought it'd be like maybe 40.
I think it was a little bit more than 40. It might have been around 50 cards. Anyway, Coop comes over and goes, Dusty, why don't you look at these cards? I bought them at a garage sale over the weekend.
Before the show, too.
Yeah, right before, in between Lock Shop and Oil Stream. Coop goes, Dusty, I need your attention. That is a Pro Set card, is it not?
I have like 17 of these doubles in a box somewhere at my parents' place.
I remember when this set came out. This is the second year of Pro Set cards. My mom and dad took me to Woolworths. And I don't know if we had just sold a bunch of cattle or whatever, but we bought 18 boxes of Pro Set year 2.
Yeah.
And we went home and we cracked it and we had set after set after set.
Yep.
So Coob's buying these because this is a Guy Carbonneau with bent corners.
Yep.
Pro Set. So he goes to me, he goes, I want you to look through these cards and see if I did well.
This is Henri Richard.
Yeah.
The Pocket Rocket. Yeah. Now, it's all Ultimate Team.
Yeah, that was a different set that came out.
Yeah.
So Coob got a stack of about 50 cards from the 90s and 2000s, which I must once again point out, those cards carry no value because they were overproduced at that time.
Even in the 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s still.
Early 90s, early mid-90s, it was like that, but I didn't know in the 2000s.
No, early 2000s as well. Up until about McDade, or up until Ovechkin and Crosby rolled onto the scene. Then the card game kind of took a bit of a bump. So there's about 15-year window of pretty much no value.
Even Upper Deck wasn't worth much.
No, not back then. Anyway, Coob goes, Dusty, what do you think? I paid $40 for this. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I paid $40 for this stack of cards. I'm going through it. It's a bunch of cards from the 90s and early 2000s with like bad edges.
Not a single insert.
No, they're just all base cards.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, that whole stack, Coob, I wouldn't even take it from you for free.
You got hosed.
I wouldn't even have paid $2 for that from Marshall or the Muzz to get at a garage sale. Like, no, that's horrible value. Yeah. What were you thinking for a guy who seems pretty good with your money?
I don't know. I listened. We've had Wayne from Wayne Sports Cards in a couple times, and I thought that I would.
I don't think Wayne said go buy a pile of shit.
Don't buy this crap.
Okay. I was having some fun. I was looking through the cards, and I spent the time looking through a huge pile of cards, maybe like 20, 30 minutes. So I thought I had to buy something.
These are the cards you picked out?
Terrible.
Yeah. And there's probably some I missed or something like that, but she had some other cards that she said that were signed that were higher value, but I saw the bent corners. I'm not paying $50 for a single card. No way. I would pay $40 for a bag of trash more than
I
did. Yeah.
You might have maybe paid $50 for the good one that was autographed, depending who it was.
True. Yeah, I think it was a Curtis Joseph signed one, but I was there. I didn't even lowball her at all. No, I didn't even go like, let's go
give me
like
your best offer. He goes $40.
She said sold right away. I
swear to God, you could have said to her $5. She would have been sold.
Yeah,
I think you just paid for her dinner and wine that night.
Hey, at least maybe I made somebody's day.
Oh yeah, you made her day, man. Sure. Guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well have just gone in, given her $40, and let her kick you in the nuts.
Here's some advice that I'll charge you $40 for. Don't buy this shit.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet, and we'll go out back. I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
There you
Classic.
go. Dude, I've got this big box of cards over here that we've cracked on the morning show over the last year. I'll sell you that for $6,000, Coop. What do you think?
$5,000 and you got a deal.
Done deal.
All right.
Done deal.
We're traveling for round 2.
Yeah. Guess what? We are going to Vegas. Anyway, that's a tough one. Uncle Dave says, I have piles of hockey cards from back in the 90s, and not one is worth anything. So much for the retirement fund. Waddy in Cloverdale says, Zacklemore, poppin' tags. Zacklemore's pretty funny, actually.
Zacklemore, I like that.
That's a good
And I
drop.
was in Seattle at one point.
You were. You
Yes,
did go to
yes,
Seattle at one point. Yes, you.
yes.
And I'm also a rapper.
Well, I mean, you are as much of a rapper as we have around here. Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
I would say that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can.
Abutski.
What do you say?
Tommy is so tough on young Coop because I want him to be great.
It's hard love.
It's hard love, but it's love ultimately.
Oh, it's still love.
It's
100%.
love. Yeah. Zach Thacum's done a great job. He's improved immensely in the year and a bit that we've had him. And
Dash makes a good point, though. I've never seen anything cost more than $20 at a garage sale before. And you started offering 40? I mean, that's a good point. Why would you offer 40 for these cards when you can get a couch over there for 25?
everything for $20.
I was having a good day.
Was it in a rich neighborhood
Were you
or
high?
something? Or?
No, I was in Calder.
Good question.
Places.
Were you high?
Were you
Did
high?
you have
No,
gummies
I
before you
was.
went?
I was high on life. I was just enjoying the
Evidently.
day.
I can't even imagine.
Did you hear Gage?
When you, yeah. When you
gut
came
laughing.
over and you're like, I paid $40 for this. I said, no, you didn't.
What?
There's no way. These cards are literally worth $0.
And they came in a Ziploc.
Yeah. You wanted to fight me. You're like, I'd fight you for $40.
I did. I wanted to like sit you down and discipline you as a boss and be like, go home right now. Go home right now.
Yeah, I should have just
Think
paid you
about what you've
$40 to give me your knowledge on cards. Next time I'll do
Yes,
that.
you should have actually. Yeah. My God.
Well, now the offer's out there. Could you do it for free?
No. Now, yeah, I'm giving you advice. Don't buy cards at garage sales. Simple as that. All right. There you go. That's your. This is where I really wanted to go with the headlines. Rob Blake out.
Yes.
We were wondering what would happen. Would it be Jim Hiller? Would it be, and Blake and Robitaille were tight, so you're like, your thoughts on it just being Rob Blake? And once again, is this a significant sign? What?
I go ask Zach, I go, how much was in your wallet tonight? $40? And he said, I asked Zach, how much money was in your wallet at the garage sale?
Yes.
Was there only $40?
Please tell me you didn't go to get the cash and come back.
No, he just e-transferred her.
Oh my God.
Wait, he had 20 cash and he transferred.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
You had $20 cash and e-transferred or another $20?
No, I had $20 in my wallet.
Oh, okay. Well, you should have just offered. Well, Zach.
Yeah, and then I went and showed her. I said, "That's the 40. Here you go."
This is unbelievable.
This is only getting worse and
This
worse.
is. I can't believe you had $20 in your wallet. You still offered her $40.
This leave, yeah.
Then all you say is, look, all I got is 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. All I have is 20.
That lady's like, that is the nicest dumb kid I've ever met in my life.
Here's the thing. I take boxes of base cards into Wayne's and just give them back to him.
Yeah.
And he gives them away to kids.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm going to tell Coob to start going to Wayne Sports Cards. Wayne gives a lot of little kids free cards.
And they love
That's
it.
what Zach could get.
Zach is a big little kid.
God, you should see it, you guys. It's the all-time group of like horrible cards. It's like Pro Set. It's O-Peachy from like the late 90s. Spanky Dufresne says, send him home. Send him home. You go home and don't come back.
You think about what you did.
Yeah, think about what you did, kid.
Smitty the
God.
Welder, poor Zach. Mercury Rip says Pro Set, Score, Bowman, Upper Deck, all 90s trash for cards, LOL.
That's all the ones
got
he
better
got.
in the 2000s.
Like, it's
yes.
all the ones he got.
Yeah.
God. Although he did get one Saku Koivu card that I don't think I have, so I took it.
Yes, you did.
That was the.
You
I
got a
this
Doug
one.
Wade in there.
I don't necessarily know if I don't know if I have this one Koivu card, and I've got like a collection of like over 1,000 Saku Koivu cards, so I don't know if I have this one. But
You do now, and it only
anyway.
costs $40.
This card cost Coop $40. Oh, what a
Worth
beauty.
it.
That's a beauty. Raider Jesse says, sorry guys, what cards did he buy? He bought like the worst 50 cards of all time and gave the lady $40.
He transferred her $40. That's why we love him.
Oh God, what a beauty! I'm sure this
Yeah,
won't
he's
go.
laughing.
I'm sure this won't go talked about the
Not
EST
at all.
afternoons
Not
today
at
at all.
all.
That's a good one. All right, Spicy. Okay, so what
Okay,
happens in
let's-
LA next? What do you
Robitaille.
think? Like,
Okay, so
it's got to be an attractive job.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that team is on the like. I think it's going to be a good team again next year. I'll be competing with the Oilers and the Golden Knights again. They have a lot of good players. They got good young players. They have a goaltender that's solid. Obviously, as Reed likes to say, systems goalie, and that's fine, right? That's fine. The Oilers are their kryptonite. They're dragging. They can't get over the hump. Something had to give. Blake had been there. Maddie was reading it since like 13 or 14. He is tight with Robitaille. I'm sure he'll be just fine. But it goes back to something Bernstein said early in the series. He said that the Kings are owned by, like Philip Anschutz is the principal owner, but they're essentially owned by a big company. He's like, think of it like being owned by a real estate company. Like it's just something that they have. So they're kind of hands off and they're kind of laissez-faire. So essentially Blake and Robitaille could do whatever they want and have been able to for over a decade now. But a move had to be made because you lose 4 straight years to the Oilers. Your team, you think you've improved it, can't get over the Oil. So something has to be done, and that was the something. So again, like Rob Blake could have been their GM going into next year.
Yeah.
And he could bring in other pieces to beat the Oilers, quote unquote. And then Edmonton could just shove it down their throats again next spring.
I was saying he should have been fired when he made the Dubois deal. Initially, the first
but then
one,
he
to bring him
totally
in,
redeemed himself.
Yeah. With that goalie that got lit up in the playoffs again anyway.
Yeah.
But still, no, I thought he had a pretty fair shake in LA.
Absolutely.
Do you think Robitaille brings in another like former teammate to kind of be the guy?
Well, Mark Bergevin's sitting right there.
Oh yeah, it might be time for Bergevin to get back in now.
And there was rumors like Bergevin might be going or getting a look in other markets. I think the Islanders, Bernstein was telling me might be interested in him, but he's right there, and he has been an effective GM in the NHL. I mean, he was decent with the Habs, right?
Yeah, no, I like Bergevin.
So he's in a good situation with LA. I could see him getting promoted to GM. I think he was he special advisor?
They might have just had him hanging around there just because of this.
Like honestly, we look at the Kings and a lot of people thought they're going to beat the Oilers this year. They were the favorite going into that. And Edmonton, again, just has their number. Edmonton did it to Winnipeg in the 80s, early 90s. It's just one of those things. Like, can you really fault Rob Blake? Because he built a damn good team. They just got beat by a damn good team that has their number and adapted better in a very close series.
I'll get back to this message here from Dash. Meanwhile, the lady that sold him is like, please offer me more than $3. I'll give you 40. This is when the Islanders were trying to trade Griffin Reinhart. Oh. And they're like, oh, please give us a mid-round pick. And Chiarelli was like, how about first? That's exactly what this kind of feels like. Yeah. This is the closest we'll ever get to working with Peter Chiarelli.
Oh, make me the Kings GM right now.
Yeah, we should. The Oilers get Byfield for nothing. Work out
Byfield, Janmark, 1-for-1.
Pretty good. Make that thing happen. All right. So Rob Blake out as general manager of the Los Angeles Kings. We'll see where that goes from here. You mentioned Bergevin already.
He's
on the
in
staff
house.
there.
I mean, although Deskra says he ruined the Habs, I don't think he did.
I wouldn't say he ruined the Habs. I mean, by the time it was done there, it was time to go. I would say that, but I don't necessarily think he ruined the Habs. Other headlines that we got to get to, just coming out of the 2 Game 7s. Mikko Rantanen with a period for the ages.
Oh my goodness.
A hat trick and an assist. Team down 2. Revenge game against his former team. Gets the empty netter as well. I've said it multiple times today. Nobody has corrected me with any other period. Might have been the greatest period in the history of the National Hockey League for one guy.
He was a beast.
The revenge game?
Yeah.
Game 7?
Yeah.
3rd period?
That shot on his first goal was an absolute BB. Absolute BB. The second one, a little bit of good fortune.
Yeah,
with
but nice play too. He skated around them all, got behind the net. And
you want to talk about bad lateral movement. What the hell was Blackwood doing on that one?
Yeah, he was like beyond the post when the time it went in.
Yeah. And then empty netter. But yeah, he was.
But even the empty netter's perfect. You know,
he was there. He's in the right spot.
He's the guy that's going to seal your season away for the hat trick. You could not have scripted. Like if Mikko Rantanen sat there himself before the game, they said, Mikko, what would be your dream? I don't know. How about a hat trick in the 3rd period to come from behind and beat these guys?
We win. I thought Colorado was playing really good too. I was watching that game and like, geez,
They were playing well.
the Avs got this. And then Mikko just explodes in the third. Now, I'm thinking about the Avalanche a little bit here. We talked to Megan Angley on Saturday going into that game. Obviously, if you're the Avs and you know who they could have used in that series? Mikko Rantanen. What would another like $2 or $3 million per year mean? You keep him,
Yeah.
and you got him for a long time. He's in the prime of his career. And guess what? He keeps this team afloat. Don't get me wrong. The Avs will probably be good for the next 5 to 10 years with who they have. But he would keep them elite, in contention. Maybe they win another Stanley Cup. I think that's worth the extra 20, 30 million it would cost you because you're making all that money, filling the building, selling jerseys, t-shirts, all that stuff. I think the investment would pay off. And they have their internal cap. They didn't want to go over a certain number. Who cares if you're going to pay him more than Nathan McKinnon?
Yeah.
The market changes.
This is how it works.
Yeah, we're watching an Oilers team that pays Darnell Nurse $9.25 million because his peers at that time got similar contracts. Now, unfortunately, he has not lived up to
Tough comparison to make.
I know, but at the time, remember how good of a season he had?
Yeah, we had a great year that
Exactly.
year, that bubble year, yeah.
We're on the cusp of watching Evan Bouchard make $10+ million a year. And with all his faults. So that where the market is when McKinnon signed, where it's now where Rantanen's up for a renewal, or I know he signed already, but things change and you get an owner that cheaps out. That's tough, man. And they ate it. The ultimate revenge.
All right, if you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. 34 away from hitting 100 today. Obviously, game 1 goes tomorrow of round 2. Tommy will be at the Westgate Boston Pizza. Tony, Curtis, the crew, they will be fired up. Hopefully, get a bunch of the nasties out there and run this thing back, hopefully with a better result than we had of, man, remember sitting there for game 1 and they had the comeback and everybody's going nuts?
Yep.
And then that goal and the whole place is just like, ugh.
Dead. Yeah.
God, that was an emotional game 1 in the opening round. This text comes in, no handle, but thank you for the text. First text they've ever sent in. Guys, what is the Aiden Hill chant for next round? Well, this is good. By default, it's got to be his first name, Aiden.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to happen with Darcy. Darcy. This has got to be Aiden. What are you going to chant? Hill, Hill, Hill. Please don't be that city. Aiden.
Aiden.
I think the first name gets in their head a little bit more. So by default, this should be an Aiden chant for this upcoming round. That person's also asking, Ekholm, possible return? No. No.
The answer is no to Ekholm. His leg injury is going to keep him out. So don't get your hopes up for Ekholm in the second round. And if anyone's telling you, like, he's not going to be ready for the second round. And I'm not trying to do that to like poo-poo everything, but it's just a fact and being real about it. I'm not here to lie to you, give you false sense of hope.
This is just reality. Rob from the Grove says they were chanting Jordan in Winnipeg yesterday. Yeah.
Loomis is all over me. Loomis, Blackwood is not that good. I'm sorry.
Well, but he had his numbers this year. The goals saved above expected. Or whatever,
those stupid stats. Yes, Loomis.
I
all right, buddy. You're right. You're right about everything, Loomis. Beautiful.
Bobby LaFrench. Actually, how about Bobby LaFrench's performance today on Canada VZ Trivia? I don't know if you caught it.
I did not catch Bobby LaFrench.
Some people are saying it might be an SD. I don't even know what the SD would be for, but came in today. We were talking about how, as the headlines continue, the Winnipeg game. Were you watching the overtime when out of nowhere John Garrett was like, you know what I read today? Sidney Crosby's going to the World Championships. It just seemed so out of place in a Game 7 overtime broadcast. It was really weird. So we were having some fun with that today. And after he had his first 3 questions right today, Bobby LaFrench on the 4th question, I asked him, goes, you know what I was reading? It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I did find that odd yesterday when when Cheech brought that up. I'm like, where's that coming from? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah,
right now?
It was so out there.
I know. I was watching in the first intermission of OT. I flipped on YouTube and I watched Game 7 of the 1990 Oilers Jets series.
And you're still watching old YouTube
They
games,
just pop up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch this. And I think Cheech was doing the color for that game with Don Whitman. It was
Really?
Yeah, on Hockey
Well, he
Night.
had a hell of a run.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that.
Yep. Statue Boss says John was discussing the fact he still has a home phone in another game.
Was he
Out of
really?
the blue. If you ever meet him, he is a gem of a human being.
How old is John Garrett now? Like, he's
Gotta be like mid to late 60s.
Oh, at least. Let's take a peek here. 73. Yeah, 73. He's had a hell of a run as a broadcaster, man.
He was an all-star back in the day, too.
Yeah, he was, it was just out of...
Cheech doesn't care. This is all house money. Like, they kind of moved on from him in Vancouver, and then they bring him back for select games, and unfortunately, Greg Millen passes away, and so they need their guys, right? Like, so Cheech is in there, which is great.
When was the last time you had a landline?
When I moved out of my parents' home?
Yeah.
2008?
I think Tam and I had a landline when we moved into our house in Terwilliger. Maybe. I know I had one at my apartment when I first moved down here. Can't remember if we had one put in at the old at our first house after we got married. Do you remember your parents' phone number from back in the day?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do they still?
No, they don't have it anymore. I actually technically have a landline at my place.
But you don't have a phone plugged in.
No phone.
So you're paying for the landline.
Yeah.
You're not using the landline.
Because it's...
Coop, do you hear this? This is a bad example.
No, hang on. Because I was looking at my bill one day a few months ago, and I'm like, why the hell am I paying for a landline? It's like $5 a month. And I called TELUS, and I'm like, I don't need this landline. Why? I don't have one. And they're like, we can pull it out, but you got a bundle, and it saved you.
Oh, it saved you the money.
Because you had cable, landline, and something else, and it saved because you have a bundle. They're like, we could take it out, but your price might go up. And so anyway, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really need it. And then they actually knocked off the price a little bit more, which was nice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's that squeaky wheel syndrome.
Yeah.
Squeaky wheel gets the worm. 780.
Squeaky wheel gets the worm?
No,
gets the grease.
Is that what I said?
Yeah. Wait a sec.
Well, I guess it's a thing now. The squeaky wheel gets the worm.
Yeah.
I meant the early bird gets the worm. Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
You're doing a Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
You just mash a bunch of...
sorry, everybody.
Is it idioms together? Yeah.
Usually I do that type of stuff on purpose. I didn't mean to do it on purpose this time. That one was just... that was just a natural mistake, and they happen. Hey,
well done.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. What do you think the crowd's going to be like in Vegas from an Oilers fan perspective?
I think we're going to see a lot of orange and blue.
Even though she's pricey to get down there?
Yeah, I think there's enough people here that will go down regardless, and I think they'll show their support. I mean, yeah, I think we're going to see a few thousand Oiler fans in the building. People here, they'll follow the Oilers. They're very loyal to them.
It would be nice to have the money to just sort of go down there. And I'm just thinking from like a fan's perspective, pop into Vegas for a couple days, check out the game, hit a pool during the day.
Pool's great.
Hit a beer house on the way to the rink and just chill there for a bit.
Yeah.
God, you lucky ducks. You lucky ducks that get to be able to afford to go down to Vegas.
I think we'll see a couple thousand Oiler fans there for sure. They have been noticing that there's less Canadians down there. For whatever
That's what
reason,
you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, I follow a bunch of Vegas people, and they're like, "Oh, no Canadians."
I've been to 2 Oilers games in Vegas. It's a good time.
It's awesome.
It's a great time, especially if they win. It's so sweet coming out of there. You're coming out of a hockey game, and you're already fired up, and you're coming out of a hockey game, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, wait, I'm in Vegas." It doesn't really get much better than that as far as hopping on the road for a game or two.
Daniel Wise says, "How expensive is it?" You tried to look it up.
We did this like on Friday morning,
on
I think,
Expedia.
but like people were saying today, like the prices are just
And then Ken Bulkey from Sinbin Vegas was saying that it was like $1,000 American for him to come up here.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm remembering
Let's see
that
here.
correctly.
Vegas. That's just the stay. I want the flights. How do you do flights and stay? Packages?
Yeah, you click there's a little box for it.
All right, so let's see here. We leave tomorrow. We come back on Friday after the 2 games. And we're leaving from Edmonton, going to Sin City.
Big Uke says WestJet directs until today. From today till Thursday were $1,700.
Oh, God.
Estimated gas splitty Rooney says to go from here to Vegas is $700. Just saying. I've done that drive. It's 24 hours. Unless you can go a little quicker, maybe and get there in 22. But yeah, it's expensive. Used to be able. I found round trip flights at times for like $300-400. You get some good deals. Can I use my Oilers buck? Says Daniel Y. Good idea.
All right, this is just one person, Edmonton to Vegas, and I think this is just the flight. I haven't used Expedia in a long time.
Calvin says fly out of Calgary.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Be cheaper from Calgary.
Yeah.
We get hosed here in Edmonton.
Yes, we do.
It might even be out of flights. It's loading, but it hasn't loaded up. Max Pazuzu says you can probably fly to San Diego and then drive over there.
San Diego.
All right, so yeah, 5:30 to leave tomorrow. 5:30, that won't even work.
Yeah.
You get there at 7:30, so right around game time. $1,800.
Oof.
Air Canada is $1,810 Canadian.
Last year,
18.
Dusty,
$1,800.
last year for Game 7 of the Cup Final, a friend of mine, him and a couple of buddies chartered a plane, like a full-size passenger plane.
Jeez Louise.
And it was like $3,000 or $4,000, including your ticket and your accommodation on a charter.
There and back?
Yeah. And it was like a full-size plane, 100 and something people.
Yeah.
They sold it out. But it was only a few grand. For one
person, there and back, $1,700.
Is ridiculous.
Doesn't include rooms. That's just the
That's
flights.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, anyway, if you are going down, enjoy it. Big Uke says, I paid $575 directs and return in November.
Yeah, Big Uke knows the travel to Vegas very well.
Pricey times. What's coming up in EST afternoons, Coob?
Hockey cards?
Maybe some hockey card talk, but lots of, I guess, well, we've recapped the Kings Oilers series quite a bit. We will recap the first round overall. Drew Mendel from the Illegal Curve Hockey Show will be joining the boys, Hernan Salas, Walking Gage. We got inside the numbers for Play Alberta as well. And I think maybe a new segment here, isn't that right? That
Need for Speed, I think, starts today. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, Tim O'Reilly will be joining.
Yeah, brought to you by Rad Torque Raceway.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, let's go. So that'll be fun. Tim's a good guy. Everybody loves him. And he'll be recapping what shook down on F1 this weekend.
He interviewed Timothy Chalamet and I think Michael Douglas.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
On the tarmac or on the track.
Chalamet. Yeah, that's interesting.
Chalamet. Tim and Tim.
Willy Wonka.
Yes.
Rip City Steps says Jasmine is flying to Phoenix and then taking a helicopter to the Hoover Dam and then joining a senior bus tour to Vegas.
If we had text of the day on this show, that would be well done stuff.
Nick Papagiorgio in Vegas.
From Yuma.
Yeah, that's
My
right.
wife and kids are back in Yuma. No corrective lenses today, sir? No, I do not require them.
All right, that is going to do it for the oil stream. We've got EST Afternoons coming up next, and then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The oil stream, as always, brought to you by Boston Pizza, GCL Diesel pregame show and postgame, Game 1, Westgate Boston Pizza, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right after the Reed Wilkins Show.
Sir.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see many of you out there. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning on The Nielson Show. For Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Have a great afternoon. Take it easy.